S60R that my roommate here, Cameron, conveniently picked up about a month ago. And after he picked it up, I was kind of thinking in my head, you know, it'd be cool to do a video on this. I've done an S60R review in the past, but this one is so unique with the interior that it has and the, you know, the wrap it has on the outside, that why not, you know, do another one. And then I posted a picture on my Instagram recently where this car was just barely sneaking in on the corner, and I had like 8 or 9 people ask about it, like, who's S60? So I figured now was a good time. So you want to go ahead and start off, just tell us, you know, a little bit about this car, what the S60R is. It's kind of the top of the line S60.
What's up, guys? My name's Cameron. Living with Jacob the past month and a half or so, and I just picked up this S60R for a new daily. It's a 2004. It's got about 160,000 miles on it. It's well taken care of by another Volvo enthusiast in the Phoenix area, and it's wrapped in Rebel Blue. The first day I had it, we went to a muffler shop and just chopped the muffler off. That 5-cylinder sound is just incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty much stock right now. They made like 300 horsepower at the flywheel stock. Just using it as my daily, so I'm just kind of keeping it there right now. Thinking about doing a tune and maybe front mount intercooler coming up in the springtime.
Yeah, because you just put the new intake on it too, so you got a little more turbo noise coming from it as well. But I mean, the thing I like about this, you know, when you did the exhaust, I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot louder than it was, but the sound it makes, you know, it's not like my Turbo X where it just screams at you when you touch the throttle. You know, it's nice and still refined, and that Volvo 5-cylinder sound is just so unique.
It's like a little baby V10.
Yeah,
baby
rev
V10.
out as high. This is my first time driving this specific car, but I've ridden with him in it, you know, a handful of times. And it definitely does have a good amount of power, and, you know, I think one of the big advantages that this car has when you compare it to my Turbo X, for example, because I guess they're kind of rivals, is that it has, you know, things like this active chassis where you can switch the suspension between comfort, sport, advanced. It's kind of like an early version of a sport mode or a comfort mode. Which is really cool, and it does make a difference when you kind of play around with the buttons.
Yeah, I actually work at a car dealership, so I'm driving nice cars that have these features all the time, and I'll tell you, I've had customers even tell me in those newer BMWs and things like that, they cannot feel the difference when they change the button. And in this car, huge difference between comfort and advanced mode.
It's already a sporty car to begin with, so it's not going to float down the road, but when you buy one of these, you don't necessarily buy it to be the most comfortable car to drive, but in comfort mode it is very tolerable to drive. Another advantage I think this has over my Turbo X, for example, is that it has 4-piston brakes all around, which it definitely, I'm pretty confident in saying that it stops better than that. But
it's got their factory Brembo calipers all around, and slotted rotors. I'm not sure which pad is on it right now, but they're probably getting about 40% life left.
Now the other thing is this has that famous Spaceball shifter to it, which, you know, I think looks really cool. Now in my short time driving it, it is a little bit hard to find gears. The gears seem to be really close together.
They are.
So like 3rd and 5th is barely going over to the right when you go from, you know, 4th to 5th. You almost think you might be going back into 3rd, but it's just something that takes a little bit of getting used to.
It is quite tight, and I've driven some other, like for example, my 944 back at home has an extremely long throw, and you absolutely know which gear you're going into, and I've misshifted this a couple times now, just daily driving it.
Yeah, but now that we have an advanced, there's just little imperfections in the road, and I can really feel it. So I think we switch back to comfort. That's a lot more tolerable for sure. But the steering on this car, you know, it's also all-wheel drive, which helps a lot, you know, I guess comparable to my car as well. And I'm trying not to compare it on every little thing, but they are technically kind of rivals, even though this car is a little bit older.
Yep.
It was still around when my car came out. But
so speaking on that all-wheel drive thing, though, it is predominantly about 90% all-wheel drive, just driving around. So it's the differential for the all-wheel drive is actually pretty much set on the rear differential. It's the Haldex unit, and
okay, so it's a Haldex as well. Just like,
so
okay.
once it starts slipping, it'll start engaging that clutch pack in the rear, and you start getting your rear drive.
Third gear, about 40 miles an hour here. It definitely pulls, you know, well. I think, you know, especially if you can get a tune for it after getting it, you know, supporting mods like an exhaust and intake and an intercooler like you mentioned, then I'm sure this, you know, it just absolutely rips. But you chirped it in the second gear a couple times.
Yeah, when I first got it.
Which I thought was, wow, that's for a car that, you know, only makes this much power. That's pretty good for an all-wheel drive car to do something like that.
I think the power curve is pretty steep, so once you're up into 5,000 plus RPM, that's when you really start to feel like the boost kind of come on. I think it's pretty conservative down low.
These seats as well, Volvo's always been known for their comfortable seats. They're definitely softer than the seats that are in my car. You know, they feel probably the same quality of leather about, but the cushions feel a lot softer, maybe a little bit less aggressive, but
I would agree, yeah.
But they're definitely more comfortable, which is expected, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I have bucket seats in my other car, so I'm happy to be in a comfortable seat now.
So if you guys do want to see a video of me ripping a very similar car up some mountain roads, I'll link that. But for this, we're just kind of cruising around town. I guess more of a daily driving experience as opposed to a hardcore really getting on it. But you know, for the era, I think this has kind of all the standard features that you would expect to see in a car like this.
Send it.
Send it. Oh man, first time hard shifting, I gotta get used to that. Oh, got a pop out the back there. The sound on this car is great. I think that's my favorite part of it. Outside of the bright blue exterior and it's like an orangish brown. I don't even know what the technical color of this is.
Atacama, they call it.
Either way, the contrast, like it already has the bright colored exterior, and then to have like this contrasting interior as opposed to just a boring black interior, you know, I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely looked for when you're buying one of these. It's really just an exhaust and intake at the moment. I've only had the car maybe 30 days, if that. So yeah, I think it's good for right now, and for what I'm using it for as a daily. I don't need 400 horsepower to fly, and keep it comfy. So one thing that is unique about this particular S60R, outside of everything we've already mentioned, is that it does have a body kit, like the front rear bumper, I think side skirts as well, off of a newer S60R, because the older S60Rs like this one didn't come with that body kit, or it came with a kind of a less aggressive body kit. So I think that's a cool touch as well. It definitely is styled a lot more aggressively and flamboyantly than my car is, which I like, you know. Some people might not, but I think it's cool, you know, to differentiate it a lot from the base model S60. Yeah, it's got the sport line, I guess, trim off an 06, I believe, and the wheels as well. The wheels that came on all the S60Rs, but those are unique to the R. Yeah, well, they sold a 17 and an 18. These wheels are called Pegasus, and so these are the 18-inch Pegasus wheels, and I think they look great. They fit awesome, and yeah, the spoke design is simple and clean, and I'm huge into 5-spoke wheels. So, you know, coming from Porsches and stuff, it's kind of my go-to. So, you know, when I saw the car, it was on Marketplace for a while, and just, man, I couldn't believe it was still there, and I'm like, I'm ready to go buy a new car today. And the previous owner is just nice as could be, and you had actually met him once or twice. So I had actually seen this car at a couple of previous, like, Saab and Volvo meets, and it
favorite cars just because of the color choice, I guess. The fact it was an R, it's a 6-speed manual. So I always really liked it, and then when I saw that he was going to look at it, I'm like, I kind of hope he buys that, you know. So yeah, I think with that being said, though, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for letting me drive the car and feature it in a video. But yeah, see y'all next time.
And follow my Instagram, win.picmedia.
Oh shoot, I forgot to mention that.